Do we all have that?
Yeah. It's called the iPhone movie or something.
Oh.
All right. Let's chat.
Let's chat.
All right. What do you want to start with? I thought we could start with your childhood.
My childhood?
Yeah. Tell me where you were born, when you were born. March 8th.
March 8th. So tomorrow will be my 71st birthday. March 8th, 1952. I was born in Padborg in Bagshavn, Denmark. And it was an at-home birth. And
See, I didn't know that.
I was ugly as sin when I was born. They almost wanted to stuff me back in again. I didn't open my eyes for about, I was told about 4 days, I think. They were just kind of shut. I didn't want to see the world, I guess. And my mom had a tough birth.
How old was your mom?
She would have been 37, 38.
Which is very old back then.
Yes. I was not planned at all, because Uncle Leif was 11 and Muslis was 12 and a half when I was born. So I was a big oops. But I mean, the oopses usually turn out the best, right?
The best.
Yeah.
So then what?
Then what?
So your mom, your dad, and your brother and your sister.
Yeah.
And you stayed in that house for how long?
Up until I moved to Canada.
Oh.
This was my childhood one and only home.
And did your dad build that house?
Yes.
Okay.
And he dug the foundation with his nephew with their bare hands and a shovel.
Wow.
For the whole house. And it was very, very tough to do. And they did it, the two of them.
Do you know how long it took them to build the house?
I don't know.
Or what year was that?
It was built in 52. Like, they moved in at Christmas time and I was born in March.
Oh.
Yeah. They lived, before I was born, they lived in a tiny upstairs apartment that came with my dad's work. He was a carpenter. And the toilet was in the courtyard or the yard. And they had to sleep in one bedroom, and it was extremely cold in the wintertime. It wasn't very well insulated. And then they moved to this house that I was born in, that my dad built, that had one full bathroom and a toilet and 3 bedrooms. And
so who shared a bedroom?
Well, Muslis and Uncle Leif, they each had a bedroom, and I was in with my mom and dad when I was born. And I stayed there, I think, until, I don't know, they never shared a bedroom as far as I know.
Okay. So I'll make sure it's actually moving.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, so Muslis had to change school, and well, Uncle Leif too, and they weren't very fond of that. But they did that.
And when did your dad start making more money? Because
he started his own company when I was 9.
Oh, it wasn't until you were 9.
No, in 1961 he started his own company, and he was a master carpenter, very, very good at his trade.
And what kind of carpenting did he do?
Well, he learned both furniture and house building, so construction, and he didn't like furniture building, so he did construction. He built houses, he built businesses. He preferred businesses, which he did most of, and many, many businesses in our town and our whole area has been built by him, still standing today.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
When did he pass away? I know his 90th was in 2004, right?
Yeah, so he passed away in 2006,
Okay.
I think.
He was 92?
Yeah, 2006 in June. because we went home in May and said our farewells. And yeah, 2006 would have been.
And he was in the hospital that whole time?
No,
Like,
he was at home. He passed away at home. He
Oh.
wasn't in the hospital.
oh, that's nice.
And,
All right, let's go back to your life first for a little bit. So, you were born, and then, what about your childhood? What do you remember from your childhood?
I remember a great childhood. It was all about playing outside, all 4 seasons. We were so many kids on our street. We were close to 50 children on that street, and we were all baby boomers. So we ranged within 5 years of each other, all of us, because these were all new homes built mostly in 51, 52, and young families with children. And so we all played together outside all the time. Whatever back then we played, we skipped, we played ball, we played softball, we played, we had races, we had games, it was just on and on. Like, if it rained, we played inside with friends. It was a total free childhood. I mean, I had to do chores. Didn't like that, but there was no way around it. Every Saturday I had to clean our driveway for weeds, and then I had to polish everybody's shoes. And every night I had to help with dishes. I didn't have to do it myself, but I had to help. And my mom never made me cook because I hated it. And yeah, so it was a great childhood. We saw lots of cousins, we saw family almost every Sunday. When I was 9, we built a summer house and spent many wonderful times down there.
On the beach?
Yeah, on the beach and with cousins and family and friends. And it was a childhood filled with family and neighbors and playing on the streets with everybody.
Nice.
Really was.
Like the best childhood you could have.
Yeah. My girlfriend and I, we would go into the woods, that wasn't very far, like it was maybe a 10-minute walk to the woods. And we would go there all summer long and down to a big lake. And I remember we would lie in the tall grass and we would have the bees and the butterflies and everything just around us. We would go for berry picking and flowers, and it was just outside summer weather. In the summertime, we didn't have the vacation that you have over here, so we had 5 weeks. But I would go, for most of the 5 weeks, I would go to aunts and uncles, always on a farm, and play with my cousins and help out with the farm work as much as we could, and try and get out of it as much as we could too. So that was fun. Learn to drive a tractor and do harvest and feed the pigs and the cows and the chickens and get chased by roosters and screaming to get out of there. Let me out. Yeah.
And when, I know this is backtracking, but didn't your aunt take you when you were young for like a year?
Not a year, but when I was, I think I was about 6 or 7 months, my mom got very ill, and she was hospitalized for months. And my favorite aunt and uncle, they had no children, my master. And so they had me for, I don't even know for how long. I know I learned to walk at their place. And then they had to give me back.
Was that hard?
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
But it made a very strong bond between my master and my uncle. And I mean, they loved all us cousins, but I was there every single year on holiday.
You were their favorite.
No, I don't think so, but I was definitely special because they had me for so long.
So when did that aunt pass away? What was her name?
Master Helga.
Master Helga. Oh boy.
Yes.
Helga.
Helga. And she wasn't like a German Helga.
No.
She was a sweet Danish Helga. She was the epitome of sweetness, kindness.
And how old was she? That was your mom's sister?
That was my mom's sister.
Was she older sister, younger sister?
Younger sister. Yeah.
Do you
Beautiful.
remember how old she was when she had you?
When she had me?
Or like when she had you in her house?
Oh, she would have been,
Like
I
36
never even
or something?
thought about that. She would have been probably early 30s.
Huh.
Yeah, I never even thought about
Yeah,
that.
I was always picturing her as being like 70 or 60 or something, but she was young.
She was young.
Wow.
Because my mom was 37, I think, when she
Yeah.
had me. And I think there's at least a 5-year difference.
Huh.
Because she's the second youngest, and my mom was the third oldest. Maybe 4 years difference. So she would have been 33, 34 max.
Wow.
I know, right? I never ever thought about that.
Did she not work?
No, they didn't work.
The women didn't work?
No.
No.
Not in my family anyways. None of them did.
Interesting.
Well, if they were on farms, they worked their butts off.
Oh, she was on a farm?
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. I mean, it was, and they had no children either, so she, I don't really know what she was doing.
Misha, come?
So, yeah. But she passed away 2 years after my mom. She passed away
Pretty
of
young.
stomach cancer.
Lovely.
Yeah, she was only 50. 51 maybe.
I didn't know that.
I used to go always and visit her in the hospital, and then I would take the bus to her house while I was in college. And she was being treated, but there was nothing they could do.
How long was she?
Sick for?
Yeah.
Several years.
Oh wow.
Because when I moved to Canada with Dad, she must have died in 75 then, 3 years after my mom, because when I moved to Canada, she was in hospital. And then when I came home 6 months later on a business trip, she had passed away.
That's, how many siblings did your mom have?
They were 8.
Wow. And your dad?
10. 5 boys, 5 girls.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we saw all of them growing
Yes,
up.
that's why you have so many cousins?
Yeah.
But that's on your mom's side that you see all the cousins, right?
Yes, now on my mom's side we have the cousin parties. But on my dad's side, I saw them growing up, my different cousins. But a lot of those were quite a bit older. Like I'm one of the later cousins. Hello, Misha. What? Come. No.
You don't have any.
That's true.
All right, so when did Uncle Mon come into the family?
I was 4.
Oh, you were 4.
I was 4. So I never remember him not being in the family.
Right.
I adored him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he
him
was a
me.
pilot when he joined the family?
Well, he was in training.
Okay.
He was actually sent to Canada for training when Muslis met him. He left almost right after they met. So, but you should ask her about that.
Oh, wow.
She was 16.
16?
Yeah.
And how old was he?
Only one was 21.
What?
Yeah.
That's forbidden.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk to Muslis about that.
Yeah, you do.
But I remember you telling me about how he would go flying and then bring you
Oh
home.
yeah, he brought home the most wonderful, different presents that nobody else had.
Yeah.
Because I mean, He was traveling too. He was in Africa, and he was all over the place, exotic places that you could just dream of going, but
Yeah.
we had never been. That's for sure. And all my slippers,
Yeah, I remember you
growing
got
up.
slippers.
Yeah.
Like moccasins, right?
Moccasins like you're wearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were the ones I got.
Like these ones.
Like those, yeah. Mine were, I had a light blue pair with all fur all around, and all the embroidery with pearls and stuff. And I kept every single pair of them that I had ever gotten.
Really?
Yeah, and they were so worn out. And then he was in Greenland, and he got me sealskin ones.
Whoa.
With all embroidery, they were beautiful. Kept those also, wore them down to nothing. Yeah. So that was, and then I got, one time I think he'd been in Canada, and he brought back a jacket for me, like a winter jacket, but it was so different that I didn't want to wear it because I stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And then actually it saved me from a concussion because I wore it we went skating on the pond, and I fell backwards with my head right down into the knoll of the pond, right, where the grasses grow up.
Yeah.
And I had that hood up, and it was this thick in the back, and I got a very, very mild concussion, and the doctor said that had it not been for that hood, it would have been a serious concussion.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So
that's cool. What color was the coat?
it was blue. It was blue, and it was furry. Like,
do you have any pictures of it?
No, I don't.
Oh.
But it was like compact fur, like that. And then in the front, it had a V in black and white.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So can you imagine how you stood out in Denmark?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to wear it. But then I wore it, and I was actually so proud of it. And the kids made fun of me, but I didn't really care. I wore it to school because it was so nice and warm. So then they thought it was very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where was that from?
I think Canada.
Oh.
I think so, but I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't ask those questions back then.
No, you didn't care.
No.
Well, I'm sure you asked where it was from.
Well, he would have told me,
Yeah,
but I don't remember. I think I was about 10 or 11 when I got the coat.
Okay.
So, no, I wasn't like a teenager or anything like that. I was a kid. Yeah, that was fun. And then I remember when I was little, he had a pin, which was an airplane. And then if I didn't behave, he would take the pin out and he would show it. It was this long.
Yeah.
With a point, right?
Yeah.
So he would always just show it to me, and then I would behave, and he stuck it back on again.
Uncle Mom did that?
Yeah, he did. Oh my God.
So when did they move to Canada?
67.
And how old were you in 67?
14.
You were 14? And then you didn't go to Canada until you were 18?
Yes, I was 18, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I had just gotten my driver's license. Yeah. But then I came to Canada, and I went to French school in La Prairie, which was like 3 buses and a metro to get there, and I had to leave at 20 to 7 in the morning to be there for 9 o'clock. And I did that the whole winter of 71. And